Hello, sacred souls. It's Susanna from Alamanic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is letting go of the false illusion of still being in emotionally toxic energies as I was shown, SHIT. That's actually what a dark sorcerer is projecting onto us, and it's the illusion that he is trying to make us believe are real but aren't. I'll actually explain it a little bit more in a moment, but I also wanted to talk about some other stuff that I actually want to explain first here. So first of all, of course, I have stuff from past ceremonies that I want to put in the fire, so I'll empty those bags. Then here I have cutouts from building a model airplane, or a little, I don't know, it almost sounds like an exaggeration. It was like a cheapy version from the dollar store, which served really well for a ceremony. And I meant to just feed it into the fire, but then I was given some spiritual input on it being almost like as humans who are formed into sort of a cookie cutter mold with like stereotypes and restrictions and limitations. And basically, you know how in a factory all the parts get cut out, they get stamped out, and they're mass produced? So in a similar way, our matrix, our society, our educational system and everything, and even how we work afterwards, and we're kind of forced into this 9 to 5 for most of our lives, for many of us. And the whole system, the way it's set up, is basically preventing us from ascending and from fully coming into our power, from fully reconnecting with our soul and being in oneness with the divine, with all of creation. So I'm gonna put that in the fire so that we can get rid of this, the matrix mold that we're in. Mold, being molded, not the mold as in moldy. And then here to the left, I have some pillars from like wooden blocks, from a set of blocks. But what these shall represent is that we shall be the pillars of light that help others around us also in their healing. Because when we bring lots of light, when we are full of light, when we are projecting all of that light out onto all of those around us, that helps them in their own healing as well. And then I have a big paper roll for closing again, or like removing any portals and gateways that still allow access to our energy field, where we can be drained and where our energy is leaking out, our life force. And I actually found some firewood, and the way it was bundled was with this cord or twine actually, and it reminded me of a noose. Actually, now that I'm holding it up, it looks less like it. Maybe that's a good thing. But that again symbolizes the abuse of power that was often carried out by authorities, especially in the past. When you think of people being hung for a crime or an alleged crime, and all that talk. So I'm gonna cut that, and this piece of wood reminded me of like the bone of a thigh, and you know, or like a hip bone where it connects to a hip. So representing what was passed down to us energetically through our DNA, through our lineage, that ties in with this abuse of power, that has to do with either war times or dictatorships, human rights violations, all this kind of stuff. And then, oh, actually we need only one. And then I have a green cord that I'll cut for any connections that some of these unhealed ones have to our heart chakra that is still draining us and making it difficult for us, for our own healing and ascension. So by disconnecting, we are becoming unattached. It helps us removing ourselves from being directly emotionally involved and affected by those who are still very toxic and unhealed. And this dark cord, again, for anyone dark and unhealed that is still in our energy field. I've had the past few days some dark interference. Oh, interesting. The video just kind of jumped, and I hope it didn't stop and restart recording, because sometimes that happens. But that's definitely a sign that there's still some interference. So some of these dark ones are still trying to get to us and prevent us from healing, because they're so unhealed and it irritates the dark in them, right? And then of course I have like the little music stuff here and the scissors. So coming back to how I started with the video, when I was preparing stuff for the fire, like usually I let my eyes adjust to the dark, and I saw that there was a bunch of wood just around the fireplace or fire pit from last time, and I picked them up without really using any light, and I thought I smelled poo, and then I put my hand in something that felt like excrement, and I was like, oh God, not again, because 2 years ago I had emotionally, energetically allowed someone really toxic in when I was trying to help. I was trying to help heal her partner who was in the hospital after a really bad accident. And I did actually help heal him through a whole bunch of ceremonies that I did. And she became extremely clingy and needy. And she was in those devil energies. She was completely in victim mentality, and yes, understandably from a human perspective she was suffering, but in a way that she was completely draining me of my energy, and I started to have a lot of dark interference in my life. A lot of things started breaking and going wrong, so I had to set very clear boundaries and tell her, I'm sorry, I can't help anymore, which she didn't take too well, and I had to cut her off, which then stopped the interference and energy drain at my end. So sometimes it's very hard when we're trying to be empathetic and we're trying to help, but sometimes when we try to help people, they want to pull us down, right? So especially while we're still in our own healing process, we have to be very sure to set good boundaries. And if not, we got to do damage control for a while, right? Anyway, sorry, that was a little bit of a sidetrack. So coming back to that, I was like, oh no, not again. And then I actually took the light, and there was nothing that resembled any kind of poo or excrement. So it was actually a trick of the mind, also with the smell. So then I looked up, and there it's going to be hard for you to see, and I don't think I can go close enough, but between the outline of the skyscrapers, there's a part of a tree where it looks like the head of a dark wizard or sorcerer, and with sort of a long nose crooked down at the end and some sort of crazy hair sticking up almost like horns. But for a moment I also felt that it was Aboriginal, which actually refers to someone who has been throwing a lot of dark stuff at me. But also I was getting the sense of almost like a harlequin, a jester, like someone not to be taken seriously, someone who is kind of a joke. And I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, but that in combination with the excrement thing is a clear sign that there's still someone, actually for many of us in this collective, who is still trying to give us the illusion that we're not as far along on our healing journey as we may think, but it's actually an illusion. We're actually doing a lot better than we think we are. So that's an amazing bit of feedback, right? So yeah, and now that I look at it, it almost looks like there's something a little bit on the back. I don't know if you can kind of see, like, whoops, no, I can't. Sort of over here. Sorry, it's hard to point like that, but yeah. Okay, I think that's it for explanations up front. So let's call in our spirit guides and actually smudge with the fire smoke. So please cleanse, clear, and renew all of our energies and fully and completely reconnect us to the divinity, the divine energies within us and around us. Let us be in oneness with the divine, and let anything dark and unhealed and low vibrational be transmuted into pure divine love light energy and returned to source for reintegration. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. So what also just came through is I was listening to a Michael Singer podcast earlier, and he was talking about when we get into the observer perspective, we can watch and observe how we may still get triggered by certain events and situations, but then we're able to actually let those triggered energies go, right? So kind of like just letting them float away. And while we're still completely evolved and involved emotionally, it's really hard to do that. But as we're able to kind of look at our life a little bit more from the outside, if we can take that higher self kind of perspective, or even just removing ourselves from the situation and looking at it, or trying to look at it neutrally, right? Whatever works for you best. Then we're able to recognize and realize, okay, this is still an unhealed wound. I gotta try to work on the wound and heal it, but at the same time, let those triggered energies go, because they're no longer serving the purpose of protecting us. They're actually preventing us from living our life to the fullest and from having an open heart. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's get started. Dear Creator, higher power, source and soul energy, our higher selves, our higher spirit guides of the light, our ancestors that are in the light, dear Mother Earth, powers of all four directions, powers of the east, powers of the south, powers of the west, powers of the north, powers of all four elements, air, earth, fire, and water. and all other benevolent powers, forces, spirits, and beings of the universe and multiverse that are of the light, please join the ceremony and assist the healings, prayers, and protection with all of your powers. Thank you. Please close the circle of protection around us. Thank you. Okay, first and foremost, help us let go of the limitations and restrictions that all the matrix programming has put on us. Let those burn away and be transmuted into pure divine love light energy and be returned to source for reintegration. And let us be filled with this divine light, burning away, and anything that is still within us that is limiting us from letting go of beliefs, programming, brainwashing, anything else that we believed we couldn't do, anything where we felt our skills, our age, our circumstances, our geographical region, our gender, whatever it is, that it was limiting and defining us. It's not. Our soul is limitless, and even though we are in a body in this 3D world, in this 3D realm, we can live through that higher perspective and shake all these limitations. So please help us burn away all these limitations and bring us in oneness with this higher consciousness. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. Whew. And this is the perfect moment to dump in all the stuff from past ceremonies to be completed, and any loose ends that need to be tied up energetically and emotionally shall now be closed and completed. Oops, I'm gonna have to throw that in a second, but it's actually getting really hot, so give me a moment. Let me see if I can get the wax. Ooh. Hot. Okay. Whew. And get more of that. Whew. And we can hear there's a bunch of stuff burning away. It's all being transmuted. It's all being cleansed, cleared, and renewed, and being returned to the divine. And with that, oh, there's one. Let any and all damage that was passed down through our lineage, that was passed down through our DNA, energetically and emotionally, be burnt away and transmuted into pure divine love light energy and return to source for reintegration. And so it is. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. And let any and all portals and gateways that were still open, that still allowed these dark, low vibrational energies to get to us, to drain us of our life force, be fully and completely, burnt away, and they do not want to go. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. And let us be... Oh, wait a minute. Let me cut that first. Okay. Let all cords, all dark cords and all cords that connect to our heart space be cut. Oh, hold on. Somehow I can't cut with my left. Give me a moment. Let all those cords be cut. Oh, there's something in connection to the throat chakra as well. That all those dark cords that kept us enslaved, and that's what this one's coming in as, and that kept us enslaved to those energies, let all of that now be cut, severed, and removed from us, from our body, mind, spirit, soul, energy, field, emotional body, throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime and moving forward. And so it is. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. And let us now be the pillars of light that we're meant to be in this lifetime, to help heal others around us as well. And so it is. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. Whew. Oh. Let go and let float away all of the resentments that we've still been holding on to. Let us breathe in and feel this pure divine light, that love energy. And we are relaxing. All stress and anxiety, fear, pain, hurt, suffering, blame, guilt, shame, jealousy, insecurity, and any and all other dark emotions are just floating away. We shall now speak our truth and speak our mind freely and uninhibited and unapologetically. This is our truth, and we have the right to speak it, we have the right to live it, we have the right to be it. And so it is. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. Okay, everyone. If you'd like to stay in these energies a bit longer, please pause the video. For the rest of us, let the ceremony now be finished, and we thank our spirit guides and the divine. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. We send you lots of love, light, and blessings back to you. Let the ceremony now be finished. Please open the circle of protection around us, but keep us strongly safe, shielded, and protected. And so it is. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations, all our relations. Okay, everyone, and thank you so much for watching, for being a part of the ceremony, for being on your own healing and ascension journey. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And I'm also sending you tons of love, light, and blessings. Be well until next time, and I wish you great abundance. Bye.